Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Zenande, and in today's video we're going to be talking about things that you should consider when choosing or changing SAICA training officers. But before we start, I'd like to ask you guys to please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video. I'm going to post it on Twitter and Instagram, so please share it, please retweet. Thank you. And without wasting any more time, let's get into the video. I'm going to start this video by talking about 3 things which I think are the most important factors that you must consider when choosing a company to do your articles with. First one being the company culture. So within the company culture, you need to find out if this company that you're planning to do your articles with cares about the mental health of its employees, whether there is any work-life balance, whether there are any opportunities for growth, as well as whether this company will provide you with a continuous learning environment. Now, we need to understand that all these companies will tell you that they have these things, and in fact, they do have these things on paper. So the best way to understand a culture of any company is by asking its employees, since they are there and they are the ones who are experiencing what it feels like to work for that company. So your best bet when it comes to understanding the culture of the company that you want to work for is by asking the trainees that are training at that company. And I remember during my time at varsity, we used to have career days where different companies would come on campus to present to us their training programs. And usually trainees would come on campus to recruit us to join their training programs. And so this is going to be your best opportunity to ask the questions that you want to ask in order to understand what this program that you want to join has, what it offers, right? However, it's very important to understand that the trainees that you're going to be seeing on campus, or the trainees that you see on campus during career days, are there for work purposes. They are planned specifically to go on campus to recruit you guys. So don't expect them to tell you the bad stuff that they experience. They're not going to tell you that their managers yell at them. No. They're not going to tell you that they are working 16-hour shifts 7 days a week. They are only going to tell you the good things because they want you guys to join their training programs. They are on a charge code. They get paid to be on campus, right? So I think the best way to get accurate information on this thing is by asking people that you know. Give them a call. Ask how they're finding their training or their articles. And hopefully they're going to tell you information that is accurate. And also, this requires you to understand your friends well enough to know if they are generally negative people or if they are too positive, because there are people who are just too positive, that they are likely to enjoy izinto. So just know your friends well enough and know the information that you're trying to get from asking the questions or right? Please make sure that you ask as many people as possible so that you can have opinions as it different. Then you can use that to make a conclusion for yourself. And if you don't know anyone who's working at the company that you want to work for, I would advise that you go on LinkedIn and send messages to the trainees who are working at that company. Make sure that you ask as many people as possible. Send messages to those trainees and ask them how they're finding their training programs. And then once you've done doing that, just conclude or make a conclusion for yourself based on whatever information that you get. Sure. But I just want to say this. It's important to understand that my experience of articles is most likely going to be different from yours. Or your friend's experience of articles is most likely going to be different from yours, depending on your attitude and your approach. So just because they are Goa doesn't mean that you are also Goa now, right? So make a decision for yourself based on knowing who you are, knowing what you're capable of, knowing what is it that you want, right? Now that's the end of company culture. The second thing that you need to think about is imali, of course. And before I talk about imali, I just want to mention that it has been said many times that we should not choose a training office solely based on how much we are going to get paid, because it's literally only 3 years of your life, and you don't want to make a bad decision based on imali ozoyifumana on your first 3 years of working, and then choose a career or choose an industry that is going to limit you, industry that you don't even like, solely based on 3 years, salary 3 years, and your koyo anyway, right? But I'm mentioning imali because I understand that other people are the first graduates in their homes, and they have to share le mali ngekhoyo with their families. They have to send money home every month. So an extra 500 to 1,000 is going to make a difference in your life if you have to send money home, right? Now, on the issue of money, of course, banking pays more, and audit firms in Joburg pay more than audit firms in all other provinces, right? The public sector pays more. People from, trainees from that audit firm that is in the public sector earn a lot of money, right? Yes, and there is this one audit firm that pays more than other audit firms. I'm not going to tell you the name of it, but there's this one audit firm that pays more than other audit firms. However, the trainees from this one audit firm that pays more are always complaining about being overworked. So you have to choose your battles. And also based on back to the audit firms. Remember when I was talking about a company culture? There's this one audit firm that is known for caring so much about the well-being of their trainees. Yeah, so you might have to choose your battles. Do you want imali, extra 500 to 1,000? Is 1,000 or 500 worth your mental health? Do you want to work crazy overtime? And also, I think also on the issue of money, please make sure that you work for a company, audit firm, that is going to pay you your overtime. So please find out if the company that you want to work for doesn't give trainees problems when it comes to claiming overtime, because I've heard that people are struggling with claiming overtime. Please find out, because I'll tell you this, you are going to work overtime at some point. Just make sure that you can claim it. And yes, the last thing that you need to think about when choosing a training office is the kind of work that you want to do. And if you do not know the path that you're trying to follow, career yako, please go to audit. Go train in audit. Then at least you're going to have 3 years to decide what is it that you want to do with your life. And if you still don't know after 3 years, use a process of elimination and figure out your life as you go along. You'll be fine at some point. The last part of this video is about things that you need to think about when you are deciding on whether to leave a training office or not. So when you're deciding whether to leave your current employer to complete your training in another company. And I'm going to discuss 2 things on this. First one being the 6 months penalty, which I think most of us know. So basically, when you change training offices, SAICA will give you a 6 months penalty. So this means that instead of completing your training contract in 3 years, you are going to complete your training in 3.5 years, right? I think that's easy. 1, done. The second one is the RPL process. RPL stands for Recognition of Prior Learning, right? Now on this, I need you guys to understand that when you leave your current employer to move to another company, to complete your training in another company, you are going to get a new contract, fresh contract, right? And within 14 months, your training office needs to decide based on your performance. They need to assess your performance and decide if they are willing to give you the months that you have worked at your previous employer, right? So just because you have worked 12 months at your previous employer doesn't mean that you automatically qualify for those 12 months. If your performance if your training officer feels like you're not going to be competent by the end of your contract, they are likely not going to reduce your training contract by the 12 months that you've worked. They can give you 6 months or whatever, but just make sure that you understand that you're going to get a fresh contract, and then you have to prove yourself that you are likely going to be competent by the end of the 3 years, right? And I just want to say this, guys, before you decide to leave your training office, I just need you to think about this thing. Think about your decision. Because chances are the grass will not be greener on the other side. Just think about it. Think about your reason for leaving. Are you leaving because the kind of work that you are doing is not what you want to do, which is a valid reason? Are you leaving because are you leaving? Is your reason for leaving, is it something that can be resolved? Basically, that's my point. If it's something that can be resolved, just try to make sure that it is resolved instead of leaving. Because uzawumka apha kule audit firm, for example, uye kwenye audit firm ufike kusitsha nakhona. So please think about a decision yakho kakuhle and make sure that you do a proper research. Because it's even worse when you're leaving, when you're changing from audit to audit. Because audit. If you are leaving your current employer because you feel like you guys are overworked, 16 hours now if you are moving to audit. I think we all need to understand that articles are difficult. Some worse than others, but articles are difficult. And it's just 3 years of your life. So just think about your decision. I'm not saying that if you can't take it, but just make sure that whatever decision that you take, you're not likely going to regret it a year from now. And make sure that but yes, guys, this is the end of the video. Hope you've learned something. Thank you for watching if you've watched until this point. And thank you. Bye.